All right, guys, this is question number 19 on the June 2023 Regents exam. As you notice, um, only 20% of the students got this right. So basically, they were guessing on this one. Um, and I think the reason why so many wind up missing this is because they know what to do with this function. They can look at the graph but it's the table. So I took the table and I just put it into a vertical table because that's what you're normally used to seeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the vertex for this. I'm going to find the vertex for this. And then I'm going to take the table. I'm going to use the spreadsheet, come up with the equation, and then I'm going to graph that function. So here we go. First thing, the graph I'm going to start with, they want the vertex. So the vertex is right here. So the coordinates would be, you go over 2 to the left and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the coordinate is a -2, 5. That's the vertex. It's a maximum. That's not important, but that's the vertex. And then we're going to find the vertex for this function. So we're going to use the calculator now. So where is my calculator? It's here. Well, it's here. I got to get all this stuff out of the way. What happened to it? Okay, so all right, so from here, I'm going to put in that function. So it is parentheses, x plus 2, and then we square it, and then we go plus 5, press enter. All right, so there is the quadratic. I'm going to actually just pull down the graph paper so we can see a little better. And then I'm just going to go menu 6. It's a minimum, so let's find it. So it's a -2.5. So that matches what we have for the other one. So number 1 and number 3 have the same vertex. So now all we got to do is figure out what about the g of x function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the spreadsheet now, and I'm going to try to come up with the equation for that quadratic. So this is x, and then this is y. And so we got a -4, a -3, a -2, a -1, and then 0, and then 1, and that's it. And then I'm going to come over here, do Control-7 to get to the top of the column. And then we're going to do a -3, 2, 5, 5, and then 2, and then a -3. So we got that. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to do the dot plot. So this is X, this is Y. All right, so if you look at this, you can see that this is a quadratic. Here is a -2. This point is a -2.5, but that's not the middle of this. The middle would be someone here. So we know that a -2.5 is not, it's not the vertex, because the vertex is going to be here someplace. It's actually going to be between a -2 and a -1. Now, but I'm going to try to do the equation. I looked at this earlier. This equation is a little sloppy. It's a little messy, but so I'm going to do menu 4, 6, 4. So notice that the equation has all these decimals. So I'm just going to write it down, and I'm going to probably put like maybe 6 of the decimal places for each term. So it's going to be y equals a -1.32142857, and that's x squared. And then the next term is going to be plus a -3.9642857. And then the last term, let me move this over. So what I'm doing is I'm just copying these terms because I'm going to try to put this in as a graph. And then I'm going to do 2.2142857. All right, so here's what I wrote down on my iPad, and I'm going to try to, by the way, this should have an X. I forgot to put an X. And then I'm going to try to put this in and see what it looks like. So I'm going to go here, use the graph paper, and the function that I'm going to enter is going to be what I just wrote down. So it's going to be a negative 1.32142857, and then it's this x squared, and then it's plus a negative 3.96 or 2857 x, and then the last one is plus 2.2142857. Press enter. Boom. All right, so now that's a nice quadratic, even though our coefficients are all decimals. Now I'm just going to do mean 63 since it's the maximum. So basically, that's kind of what I was saying before. The x coordinate is a negative 1.5. The y coordinate is 5.875. Now that might not be exactly right, depending on the decimals that I use, but you can obviously see that the vertex is not a -2. It's close, but it's not exact. So if I go to the answer, this one does not have a vertex of a -2.5. That's not the vertex. It has that point, but that's not the vertex. So the answer is 1, 3. And I think that's why so many people missed it. They probably thought that they all had it and they chose 4. But number 2 doesn't actually have a vertex of a -2.5. So that's the answer. That's how you would do it. Now, this one was a little messy, but hopefully you still see you should be able to use the spreadsheet to help you answer this. So I'm going to stop and post.